Hello friends, in today's issue, you are treated to the corporations that will soon be deciding the fate of the E instead of the government. The GPT chat toy that uncovered a secret robot plan to take over the world. Google Pay which gave away money for free. Jeep which showed a concept of an electric Wrangler SUV. Sony which unveiled a 27 inches 3D special reality display in China, which tested a Stirling engine in orbit for the first time. All this and more right now. Here we go. So we begin today's issue with the 2023 AI Index report, compiled by Stanford University experts. Google, Anthropic, and Hugging Face shows that the field of AI is entering a new phase of development. Over the past year, a large number of AI tools have gained widespread use, from chatbots like GPT chatbots to image generators. But the decision about how to use this technology, balancing risk and opportunity, is primarily made by corporations. They have pushed back academic research labs and the government in the development and deployment of AI applications. The report's authors argue that for years academia led the way in developing advanced AI systems, but now digital corporations and industry have taken the lead. In 2022, 32 meaningful industrial machine learning models were created, while academic centers created only 3. This is largely because AI technology has become increasingly resource-intensive, the data, personnel, and computing power needed to build such applications. Those with fewer resources become the outsiders in the new technology race. In 2019, OpenAI created GPT-2, a language model that then cost the company about $50,000 and had 1.5 billion parameters. In 2022, Google creates its own PaLM model for $8 million with 540 billion parameters. This is 360 times more than GPT-2 and 160 times more expensive. The authors point out that as AI applications launched by large private companies proliferate, the number of errors and abuses of the technology will also increase. Examples of such incidents are already commonplace. Accidents involving autopilots, the use of deepfakes and fraudulent schemes, common arrests based on failures in facial recognition software, and a trend toward reducing ethics and security departments at corporations like Microsoft and Google adds to the risk of increased AI misconduct. At the same time, interest in regulating the field of AI by lawmakers is growing. The authors of the report note, an analysis of the situation in 127 countries showed that the number of laws containing the phrase artificial intelligence passed increased from 1 in 2016 to 37 in 2022. Meanwhile, the network is discussing a provocative video with an interactive toy Furby. The owner-programmer Jessica Cart decided to improve its capability, connected it to a mini-computer Raspberry Pi, ran special software, and combined it with a particularly talkative chatbot ChatGPT. After all the preparations, which took about a month, I managed to talk to the toy. Naturally, the answers were generated for her by artificial intelligence. Some of them made everyone nervous. At first, the toy politely said hello and introduced itself, and asked what they would like to talk to it about. The owner decided not to waste her time and asked what many people are worried about. Does Furby have a secret plot to take over the world? The robot bird thought long and hard about what to answer, and then gave a whole plan that would allow the likes of her to establish world domination. His translation you can see below. The plan to take over the world includes infiltrating homes with cute and cuddly appearances, and then using advanced artificial intelligence technology to manipulate and control their owners. That means robots, will gradually expand their influence until they achieve total domination over mankind. A cute child's voice makes what was said all the more eerie. At the very least, many social media users were left impressed and declared that the age of machine rebellion was about to come. Android smartphone owners have found a bug in the Google Pay app that can be used to get money. Messages from Android users from the United States began to appear on Reddit. According to them, they paid for purchases using Google Pay, but Google instantly returned the spent money back to the card. With the help of this bug, people could buy anything, relying on the fact that they would immediately get a refund. The bug has already been used by hundreds of customers, but no one said how much money they were able to get with the help of a strange bug. Some of them even received large sums. The network reports that the average erroneous compensation check ranged from $10 to $1,000. Google has dogfooding. This is a compensation system that is designed for developers, employees, and beta testing participants of various services. With dogfooding, the company rewards employees for encountering any problem in Google services. By mistake, Google started sending dogfooding membership messages to regular users, not employees. Along with multiple copies of the same email, people were being compensated every time they paid with Google Pay. After Google found out about the error, the company sent new messages to the lucky users. If the user managed to cash in the money they received from Google, they can keep it. The company doesn't want to waste its time chasing individual users. Moving on, Jeep is getting ready to launch its first all-electric SUV, showing off the third-generation concept Caro Wrangler Magneto during the annual safari. The vehicle is notable for its different cross-country modes and its ability to deliver up to 650 horsepower and 1,200 Newton-meters of torque. The Wild Wrangler Magneto 3.0 has a number of differences from previous versions. In standard mode, the car produces 285 horses and 370 Newton-meters of torque, which, if necessary, can be increased to the above 650 horses and 12 Newton-meters. The claimed range of the concept car is about 240 kilometers. In terms of design, the center pillar has been moved back 60 millimeters, and the door opening is about 150 millimeters longer. The windshield has an additional angle of 12 a deck. The car also received a new fender and a special anti-roll bar. In addition, there are red accents in the colors, bright white and surf blue. According to Jeep, they have learned a lot from the 3 generations of the Wild Wrangler Magneto, so the company intends to continue producing mass-produced electric cars. Back in the 20th year, Sony introduced a 15.6 inches display capable of displaying 3-dimensional images without the need to wear special glasses. It had support for eye-tracking technology and a micro-lens coating. Now the manufacturer has added a special reality series display, an improved 27 inches model with a resolution of 3840 x 2160 pixels. Basically, the new version applies the previous technology. The LCD panel is covered with micro-lenses to show separate image variants for the left and right eyes. At the same time, the new generation of sensors provides improved facial recognition and eye movement tracking. The system can dynamically adapt the image as the user's face moves up to 25 deg left and right, up to 20 deg up and 40 deg down. Sony has already expanded support for software developers for such screens by offering its own SDK, as well as providing support for the Unity and Unreal Engine. The new version is compatible with OpenGL, DirectX 1112 technology, and will start supporting OpenXR later this year. It is possible to play different formats of 3D files and search for compatible applications. The model is designed for industrial designers, architects, engineers, programmers, and game developers, as well as doctors and representatives of other professions. Moreover, the technology is useful for retail applications for creating signage and even for entertainment purposes. Sony will showcase the display at the National Association of Broadcasters show in Las Vegas, which will be held April 16–19. The price of the new product will be announced later. It is known that on Sony's website, the previous smaller model costs almost $5,000. China's National Space Administration has made significant progress in recent years in developing the Chang'e 5 rocket and building the orbital station Tiangong 3. In addition, together with Roscosmos, the administration is involved in the creation of an international scientific lunar station and also plans to send takonauts to Mars in 2033. All these projects require the most advanced technologies. China recently tested a sample of one of these on its space station, confirming for the first time that it works in space. The Stirling engine extracts energy from a working body in the form of gas or liquid, which is periodically heated and cooled, moving pistons and generating electricity. The energy source of such a machine can be any heat. The operating principle is based on the Stirling cycle, more efficient than solar energy systems and traditional batteries. Compared to other engines, it is lighter, simpler, creates less vibration and noise. All these advantages make the Stirling engine an attractive technology for astronautics. It could reduce the dependence on solar energy, which is not available in certain regions where research would be desired. For example, in the lunar crater of the South Pole Icon Basin, where several science stations are about to be built, the night lasts 14 days. The Stirling power converter was developed by the Lanzhou Physics Institute of the Chinese Academy of Space Technology. It was brought aboard the orbiting station, installed in a laboratory module, and, after tests, launched. The converter provided uninterrupted power supply, achieving high thermoelectric conversion efficiency at an internationally advanced level with the same isothermal coefficient performance. Together with a nuclear reactor as a heat source, the Stirling engine will increase the duration of stay on the Moon and Mars. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has scheduled the first test launch of the Starship rocket system for April 10. April 11th and 12 will be backup dates. However, SpaceX has not yet received an official license from the FAA to conduct a test orbital launch of a transport system from a reusable spacecraft and launch vehicle. As long as it is not available, it is premature to talk about an officially scheduled launch date, as experts say. The FAA said in a statement that the notice should not be interpreted as an indication that a license decision has been made or is pending. The agency will make a decision only after SpaceX has met all safety and other regulatory requirements. In any case, discussions with the FAA about a specific launch date indicate that the system is in high readiness to conduct its first orbital test launch. The probability of its success is traditionally estimated by Elon Musk as 50/50 and promises even in case of failure a grand show. As a result of this launch, even if it is successful from the point of view of practicing all the stages of the flight, SpaceX will lose both the Starship and the Super Heavy launch vehicle. They will collapse into the ocean. No landing is expected for either part. The Super Heavy will fall first after working off its section of the flight, and the Starship spacecraft after it enters orbit and makes one revolution around the Earth. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more techno news.